How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's go right in this review and see what movie I ended up checking out. So welcome to an all-new movie review, folks out there in YouTube land and all subsequent social media lands. Welcome. So the movie I'll be talking about today came out mid-February. Just getting around to doing the review now, and it was a really fun film. One of the best video game films I've seen, and they did a fantastic job. So happy that they decided to redesign the main character and took the time to put it together and make such a great film. And also, it was a great and triumphant return for one of the actors who hadn't done really any actual comedy type of elements in quite some time. So it was nice to see him in something again too that was mostly comedy for him as well. Now, the movie I'm talking about is the #1 now best released video game movie of all time, and that of course is Sonic the Hedgehog! Oh yeah! So Sonic the Hedgehog, we all know from Sega Genesis. It was a video game back in the early 90s. It had so many, offshoots of, series of games. It has been on several different game systems. They've had him with Mario. They've had him have his own solo type of things. He's been around for many years, and they finally put him on the big screen and gave him his first big screen film. And this was a really fantastic outing, and they did such an amazing job. The writing was on point. The animation was really fantastic, and just the whole premise of the film was a really cool and awesome take on the Sonic the Hedgehog, game series. Now, this film is directed none other by a gentleman that this is his directorial debut. He hasn't really done anything else. This is his first directing, gig type of film. He's done probably some shorts and stuff like that, music videos, stuff like that. But this is his first big budget film. And then, of course, is Mr. Jeff Fowler. Oh yeah. So Jeff Fowler, like I said, this is his directorial debut. He has no other, filming credits. Not even any acting credits either as well, but I thought that he did a really fantastic job with this film for his first outing. I thought he made a really well done film that had action, comedy, heart, and just really great special effects, and just a great ensemble cast that he put together that worked so well together and made such a great video game into a movie type of deal. And I also thought that he had the right ideas of what to do with the characters and how to present them and how to make the film successful and fun and just, all around pay, true homage to Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game. And I thought he did all those very well and made a really fantastic film. Now, this film has a really great cast, some great actors that, are amazing comedians, all of them, and some of them can do serious, some of them can do, romantic. All of them are just really fantastic actors. Now, the first actor I'd like to talk about is none other than Mr. Tom in the film, and that, of course, is Mr. James Marsden. Oh, yeah. So James Marsden, if you might recognize from a slew of films over the years, he was in Disturbing Behavior back in '98 with Katie Holmes. He was in Hop, where Russell Brand did the voice of the Easter Bunny. He's done, tons of films. Great films that are just fun, rom-coms, comedies, and also just, great, action flicks and also, horror type of deals. But a couple films I really enjoyed him and thought he was really fantastic in. It was none other than a great film series that finally kind of had its conclusion of the recent news stories and was considered a box office bomb, but still was a great film. But this film series is just a really great one that he's had a chance to be a part of and has made cameos and all kinds of stuff like that in certain ones, but was the very first of this X-Men character. And that, of course, is the awesome film X-Men Days of Future Past. Oh, yeah. So we got to see him as Cyclops in this film as well. We got to see him in X-Men 2, X-Men 1, X-Men The Last Stand. And he played Cyclops to the T. He was really fantastic as the character. I really enjoyed him. Very different than Ty Jensen's, portrayal of him in the newer series, but still is a really great, type of deal acting job that he did so well and just so fantastically. And I just thought that he brought a great live action presence to Cyclops from the comic books and gave us kind of a cool idea of who Cyclops could be. And I just thought James did a really great job with the character and gave us a really fantastic portrayal of Cyclops, in his older self, and just gave us a really fun, Cyclops altogether for our first live action outing for him. Now, the second film I really enjoyed him in is a great rom-com film that stars Katherine Heigl. And this film I just think is a really fun film, really well done. I'm not a huge Katherine Heigl fan, but at the same time, this is just a fantastic movie because of James Marsden and everyone else that was involved with the film. And that, of course, is a film called 27 Dresses. Oh, yeah. Absolutely love this film. I think it's a great rom-com. I think everyone should enjoy a rom-com. And this is just one of those fun ones because it was so well, like I said, created, directed, acted, and everyone involved was really fun and awesome in it. It's got some great one-liners, some great story, and James just was really awesome as the main love interest character. And he just made me just laugh the whole entire film, and I thought he was so great at just presenting at the right times in the film those kind of romantic moments and those endearing moments, and I thought he just did a really amazing job with the role. And I think it's one of his best roles that I enjoy around, and I just think that it was a really great acting gig. So definitely, if you haven't seen 27 Dresses, give it a try, people. It's worth the watch. Now, when it comes to his portrayal of Tom in Sonic, I really enjoyed it. He was that great, pleasant kind of character that kind of was a little stern. At the same time, he had a great heart to him, and I thought that he brought a lot of great one-liners to the film, and I thought he worked really well, with Ben Schwartz. And, even though, Sonic itself is, a computer animated character, still there was like a puppet that was in its place that he had to interact with, and I thought he did a really fantastic job of doing that and making it seem like Sonic really was there. And I just thought he did a really great job. Really great acting gig by him in this, and a really enjoyable role. If you haven't seen Sonic yet, definitely check it out for James. If you're a big James fan, he's excellent in it. So that brings me to the second actor that's in Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. And that, of course, is Sonic's voice himself, Mr. Ben Schwartz! Oh, yeah! So you might recognize Ben Schwartz in Parks and Rec, as the hilarious John Ralphio. Oh, yeah! You also might recognize him from a few other films and other voiceover work that he's done over the years. But a couple of films I really enjoyed him and thought he was fantastic in was none other than he played a great character and like a valet character in this awesome Latino film that stars Eugenio Deveros. And this movie is just absolutely fantastic. Such an amazing film. Highly recommend checking out. And that, of course, is a film called How to Be a Latin Lover. Oh my god, this film is so stinking hilarious. Every line in this film and every actor and actress that's in this film were on point and perfection in this film. They were so hilarious, so fun, so endearing, and it was just an all-around great film. And John Ralphio's character, aka Ben Schwartz, was just so freaking funny in it, and his interactions with Eugenio was so on point and perfect, and just so hilarious, and just a really well-conceived character. And I just really enjoyed him. I thought he did a fantastic job in it, and I really enjoyed him as a part of that film. If you haven't seen How to Be a Latin Lover, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. Now, the second film Ben Schwartz was in that I really enjoyed is an awesome film with Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. And this film just came out 2 years ago, and is a really funny film and just a really great Kevin Hart, all-around comedy type of film. And that, of course, is a film called Night School. Oh, yeah. So Ben Schwartz plays kind of like his best friend / kind of advisor in this film, and he is so normal in this film versus being like John Ralphio or any of the other movies I've seen him where he plays kind of John Ralphio. He plays like a normal, average, everyday guy, and it was so funny seeing him like that in this. I was just like picturing John Ralphio the whole time I'm watching him, but he was so good, and it was nice to see him in a different type of capacity of comedy, and he was on point and really amazingly worked well with Kevin Hart. And they really made a great duo, and they were so hilarious together. And it was just a really great performance. If you haven't seen Night School, check out Ben Schwartz's performance. He was really awesome in it, really just fantastic, and just a really great role. Now, when it comes to his performance as the voice of Sonic, I really envisioned him as Sonic. I was really impressed because I wasn't too sure about his voice because his voice is very distinct. And when he started talking as Sonic, I was really drawn to imagining that Ben Schwartz is Sonic. And I just thought he brought a great level of great just acting ability to bringing Sonic to life and giving it such a great performance. And I thought that a lot of his lines were on point too as well. Especially when in the movie itself, they actually have him say a couple lines that are like referring to Jim Carrey. And like he says lines from some of Jim Carrey's films and stuff. And I think that's absolutely hilarious that they did that with the film because that makes it even funnier. And also the same thing, they did a couple lines that John Raffia would say from Parks and Rec, which, was on point too as well. So, I mean, his whole performance as Sonic was so amazingly done and really made me feel that Sonic was a real living creature and that he was this, alien creature from another world. He just did a really fantastic job with the character, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him, and also hopefully we'll get to see him as Sonic again. So that brings me to the third and final actor I like to talk about that's in this film. And that, of course, is the all-star himself that was in A Living Color. He's been in a ton of films over the years, and he's just a master comedian, and absolutely love this man, and was so glad to see him as this character. And that, of course, is Mr. Jim Carrey! Alrighty then! Oh my god, love Jim Carrey. I'm so happy to see him in something comedy related again. It was so nice to see him do Dr. Robotnik because he was perfect and on point as the character. He really brought Dr. Robotnik life from the video games and gave us such a great performance, and it was so great to see him in his old comedy elements. We all, you've seen him in a ton of films over the years, like Rubberface. He was in I Love You, Philip Morris. He was the Grinch in The Grinch Stole Christmas, the live action from 2000. He's been in a ton of films over the years, Ace Ventura, etc., etc. But a couple films I really enjoyed him and think are two of his best films. There's none other. The first one I like to talk about is one from 1997 starring Swoosie Kurtz, also starring, the awesome and funny Jennifer Tilly, and is so beautifully directed by Tom Shadak. And then, of course, a film called Liar, Liar. Oh, yeah. So Liar, Liar is such a great, fantastic film. Has heart, has comedy, has some great scenes, lots of great one-liners, great cast, and is just, I think, one of my all-time favorites of Jim because he is so on point in it, and he just brought such a great presence to the character of Fletcher Reed. And it just showed how great of a comedy and physical comedy element he had to himself, too. And just really showed how rubber-faced he really is. And this whole movie is just on point Jim Carrey, and I absolutely love him in this film. If you haven't seen Liar Liar, people, definitely check it out. It's worthy of every single award ever, because it's such a fantastic film. And yeah, definitely, if you haven't seen it, you're not a true Jim Carrey fan then, because this is a Jim Carrey fan film. I'm just kidding. But just watch it. Now that brings me to the second film I really enjoyed Jim Carrey in. And that, of course, is the 1994 film directed by the Farley brothers, starring Jeff Daniels. And I think this is one of his all-time best, too, as well. And that, of course, is a film called Dumb and Dumberer. Oh, yeah. Lloyd and Harry. Oh, yeah. And we actually got a sequel finally in 2014 that was really good. We have the prequel that was played by two different actors portraying the characters, but still did a really great job of portraying Jim Carrey in the film. But Dumb and Dumber is such a classic comedy, and Jim Carrey was so on point in that film. He was so hilarious as Lloyd. And some of the scenes that he was in were just so perfect, such great timing, and he worked so well with Jeff Daniels, and they just made it such a great, iconic, classic comedy film. The fact that, he was actually really in love with Lauren Holly, and they actually got married after filming this film, too. Really, you could see how much they really liked each other at the time, too, and I thought that was really made the film even more fantastic as well. And just, it was a really great performance by Jim, because he really put a lot of, great oomph into this character. He gave him a lot of love and compassion, but at the same time he was really stupidly dumb, but at the same time he had great heart, and he was actually smarter than he thought. And Jim just did a great job of portraying that, giving us the perfect image of what a person like that would be, and he was on point. Great film. If you haven't seen Dumb and Dumber, definitely check it out, people, too. Worth the watch. And like I said, when it comes to his Robotnik impersonation, his presentation of the character, he was so perfect as the character. Loved him, especially if there's the end credit scene, and there's so much that he brought to life in Dr. Robotnik, because it was like exactly how the character is portrayed in the video games. And he really brought it to life and gave us this first live-action rendition of him. And just was a really fantastically done film. And an acting job, and just he was a great addition to interacting with Ben Schwartz, interacting with James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, just everyone involved, and he just did such an amazing job, and I give him high praises for it. Was so great to see him as a comedy master again. That's how great this performance was. If you haven't seen Sonic for Jim Carrey's performance, definitely check it out, people. He did an amazing job. So, if you're not familiar with what Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, is about, basically it's kind of the introduction to who Sonic is, and basically about him trying to stay hidden in this world where these people are trying to track him and find him to use his powers, because he has special powers that nobody else has. And pretty much the movie's about him trying to find this other world he needs to get to be safe, because he's been found on Earth. And so, basically, it's about him trying to get to that world, getting help from James Marsden's character, and also trying to outbeat Dr. Robotnik at the same time. So it's just a really fun, awesome video game made to, video movie film that's really fantastic, really well done, greatly directed, great acting, great script, great special effects. It's just an all-around really fantastic film. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now, people. It's worth a watch. Amazing film. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this bad boy. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, and also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been here before, what are you waiting for to hit that subscribe button, people? Do I need to have Sonic come and ask you politely to do it? Does he have to use his lightning? Come on, people. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video or any of the awesome videos I put up. And as always, people, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you haven't seen them on yet. And as always, people, check out the Awesome Horror Pack, which is a great subscription service that comes to your door every month of awesome horror films, either in Blu-ray or DVD format, and it's always a great selection. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and check out that link down below. And also, you get a discount if you're a first-time subscriber. That's right, discount, people, yeah. And as always, people, catch you in the next one.